This is actually happening, isn't it? I feel like Michael Scott in The American Office. You know that scene with the fire drill where he's just running around the office going, "It's happening, it's happening, don't panic." That's how I feel right now. As we are 48 hours from the Rugby World Cup officially starting, we have our first team announcement. I'm absolutely buzzing about this one. And yeah, I feel a bit like I'm Michael Scott in that episode of The Office. I feel a bit like I'm a kid just building up to Christmas Day. And it's, yeah, and you've helped make it an even better day as well, because today I went through 30,000 subscribers. So thank you very much for that. I'm Tim, this is Egg Chasers. Hit subscribe on the channel. Add to those 30,000 that I can't quite believe are with me on this journey in France. I'm really happy you are. Leave your comments as well. And like the video so that it gets shared. This is our opportunity to tell the world how good rugby is. So let's together do that, shall we? Currently in Bourgogne, Burgundy, region of France. Tomorrow I'll be on the south coast. Tomorrow evening I'll be meeting with the England team as they arrive in Marseille, and then on Friday I will be at the stadium watching a bunch of the team runs and getting out in amongst the fans as well. So if you're in Marseille, keep an eye out for me and come and say hello. And I'll be trying to find you, don't you worry. Right then, let's get into the team announcement then. And France, firstly, the home side. We knew about a bunch of their injuries already. Paul Willemse out for the tournament and Roman Untermack out for the tournament. No surprise to see Cameron Woki there. We knew Matthew Jalabert would be fly half. Jonathan Donty and Cyril Bay are injuries that are more temporary. So Raider Wardy comes in at loose head prop and Yoram Moafana at 12. Other than that, pretty much as strong as you would expect France to be, albeit some of their combinations have been broken up. The front row was really settled. The centre partnership was really settled. The half-back partnership was really settled for club and country, and that's been broken up. One interesting thing I think when I look at this France team is that they've now changed from what Fabien Galtier has been doing for the last 4 years, basically, and they don't have a 6-2 split on this one. They've gone for a 5-3 split. I don't know whether that's... I mean, World Cups... when they actually arrive, they do strange things to people. Pressure can tell. It's just odd to see them deviate from the script slightly. I'm kind of, I don't know how much to read into that, but just generally when I look at the bench with the injuries, bearing in mind, 5 of their first choice team, 1/3 of their side are out, injured, either temporarily or permanently. You would expect the bench to look a little weaker than it normally does, and I think that is the case. Although that's still there's some absolute class acts there, and probably 7 or 8 of that starting team are like you would class as genuinely world-class talents. In the back line, Ramos, Penaud, Fickou, Dupont, and in the pack, Aldrit, Olivon, Antonio and Marchand, and the rest of the team aren't far off that kind of label as well. So they are a serious team. As for New Zealand, well, all the talk's been about France's injuries, hasn't it, in the build-up? But Geordie Barrett, no Geordie Barrett for this one. That's the headline, and was not expecting that. It's a knee injury that's kept him out. Hopefully that's not too serious. This is kind of like the pool game, and after this it's really about, well, no disrespect to Italy, of course, you've got to beat Italy, but assuming that New Zealand do that, then it's about the quarterfinals. So let's wait and see how bad it is for Geordie Barrett. Hopefully not too bad. We knew that Tyrell Lomax's shark bite might keep him out of this game, and Nepo Laulala and not Fletcher Newell starting in his place. I'm surprised about that. Although I guess if you want to go glass half full, at least you've got someone of the quality of Fletcher Newell coming off the bench, being a finisher. But I was maybe surprised about that one. And Shannon Frizzell and Brodie Retallick are 2 big physical units that are not in that pack. Obviously Sam Whitelock is a class act, we know that. Dalton Papali'i he'll do a great job as well. So good depth, but again it has an impact when you look towards the bench, these changes for New Zealand. So it's definitely one to watch. And Anton Linnett-Brown will do a solid job at 12. He isn't Geordie Barrett though, and Barrett and Ioane, New Zealand have spent years cultivating that partnership, and it was just starting to look really good. So it's a real shame that they're not going to have it. But then I guess it means these 2 teams have both got their fair share of issues in similar positions as well. So I think I know what's going on here. I think New Zealand and France have had a little word and gone, do you know what? If we play our cards right, there's a good chance that this will be the fixture for the World Cup final. It'll be the first fixture in the World Cup and the last fixture, and we don't want to blow our load on this first game. So should we keep our powder dry a little bit? I'll leave Jonathan Donty out. You leave Geordie Barrett out, yeah? I'll leave Cyril Bay out if you leave Tyrell Lomax out. All right. Little handshake. Good. Then the marketing for the World Cup final is done, isn't it? You've got you go full bore in the final. Leave a few out here. And I suppose some have said, and again, I don't want to be disrespectful to Italy, but some have said that the result of this game doesn't really matter. It'll matter massively to France. One thing that's been noticeable the time I've been in France here so far is it's not... I was expecting to see posters, TV adverts, newspaper articles everywhere about the World Cup. It's quite a low... I can't think of the word. It's not Rugby World Cup mad yet. So France will want to get their team to win on home soil to really capture the imagination of the country and carry them through. So what I have done... Also, just before I get into my combined team, which is what I have done, if you had access to all 46 players, who would you pick in a combined squad? Just, can I say, the Haka versus La Marseillaise. Oh, I can't wait for this game. I cannot wait. Right, here's my combined team then. If you had access to all 46 players, which 15 and then bench would you select? And it gives you some insights into where the balance of power lies in this game. And I think France probably have the edge in personnel. As you can see, they've got 5 of the pack and 4 of the backs in my combined team. I mean, there were some 50-50 calls, Beauden Barrett and Thomas Ramos being one example. But then again, had Jonathan Donty and Geordie Barrett both been available, I would probably edge for Jonathan Donty. So that would have skewed it slightly more in France's favour. So I think when you look at the pack, it's pretty well balanced. And I've changed my normal rule. Normally what I do is 1 versus 1 and I pick a player, 2 versus 2, 3 versus... and so on. But I'm not leaving out Gregory Aldrit or Ardie Savea. So Ardie Savea arguably would be the best 7 in the world if he was playing 7 anyway. So I had to have him in my back row. So that's why I've changed that there. But the group, Marchand, Antonio, Barrett and Flemont in second row, and Olivon... What a back row, by the way. Olivon, Savea and Aldrit. Oh, my goodness. And the half-back pairing's not too bad, is it? Dupont and Mwanga. The wings, 1 from each. Will Jordan and Damien Penaud, just such class on each wing there. Shame we don't have the 12s. So I've edged Linnet Brown over Moefana. Ficou is class. Thomas Ramos is brilliant. The bench, so France, I think, have the edge in the 15s. New Zealand have the edge on the bench, I think. They've got kind of more dynamism coming off the bench, haven't they? Takeaho and Newell and Jacobson, Havili, Fainga, Anuku. I like the sound of that. So I'm thinking, if New Zealand are... I expect France to be ahead on the hour mark, but I think New Zealand have got, and I think France need to be ahead on the hour mark, I think New Zealand have got the firepower to come back and win this one, genuinely. So I think this is going to be close. I think France will probably edge it by a score, but definitely with that bench, hold on, I have to make one point. Talk about firepower off the bench. New Zealand have not selected Cam Roygaard. Cam Roygaard announces himself with a wonder try against South Africa, confirming what many New Zealand fans and other fans from around the world believe, that this guy is an incredible talent. And Fozzie's response, yeah, don't really need you yet. Don't get that, personally. But hey, I'm sure Fozzie knows what he's doing. Maybe I don't. Maybe you think the same. Let me know in the comments. Tell me what you think. It's getting very close. Very, very close. And there's so much content coming on this channel. So I really appreciate your support so far. Hit subscribe and I'll see you on the next one.